Okay, so I have some Fabriano 100% cotton cold pressed paper here. I'll go over my paints as I use them. I'm playing with all kinds of brushes today. A flat wash brush, round brush, etc. I'm going to dip my flat wash 1-inch flat wash brush into the water. Get some water puddle happening here. Ultramarine blue deep, burnt sienna, kind of mixing together. I'm also going to grab some cadmium yellow deep, Prussian blue. Get those colors going at the same time. A little bit more Prussian blue and some burnt sienna. And then I'm going to clean up my brush. Even with the dirty water, I don't mind. I'm going to start to put some water kind of like on my paper like this, on the left side and the right side, and a little bit in the middle. Going to grab my bluish color, start going like this in the middle. On the outer color, outer side, I'm going to start to grab these greens like this. Actually, I want to take off some of these greens and more blue up top here. More blue up top. Blue. So we get this really kind of cool side here. I'm going to grab some more of the Prussian blue with some burnt umber. Get it much darker down here. Dip my brush into water. So it was wet on dry, and then I'm just doing wet on wet now. So now this is wet. Paper is all wet. And now we're going to be doing some fun stuff with that. I'm going to grab a 16 round Aqua Elite series brush. Here's the the burnt umber. Go like this. Wisp up some grass kind of little markings. This one too. I'm going to grab some yellow. I want this a little bit brighter. Ooh. Wisp it up. Gonna have it drip down a little bit. Add some more yellow. A little bit brighter. It's looking a little deep dark green, although I want some of that. Not a lot. And now that's kind of sitting there. I'm gonna grab this other brush, which I love. This 8 long round from Aqua Elite. Tilting it. Just making some simple, moving that paint that see it's dry in here. Making little grasses coming from that paint that I put in there, yellow. Grabbing whatever I have here on the palette, just kind of playing with that. All the fun stuff you can kind of do while it's wet. And all this stuff is kind of granulating in here. Grasses out. This is like so fun. Especially if you're new to watercolor. You're just washing the sides left and right. Now we've got a lot of big puddle happening here. And I want to finish the edge. I'm loving this like white area. Coming back down here and throwing in some grasses. And then you gotta figure out what would you put in the center of that. You could put a butterfly, you could put a, oh, I don't know, dragonfly, but I have an idea. I'm gonna do something else. I just feel like I've done some things like this before, which you've seen me on YouTube doing this. And now I'm gonna do a different kind of animal on here. See, it's all starting to come together. Very I'm gonna go thicker paint of the Prussian blue and the burnt umber. Maybe a little bit of burnt sienna too. Get that in there. Thicker paint happening. It won't move as much. It's a lot of fun. Just taking this brush and just whipping up some grasses. Who's peeking in the grasses? If you don't like the grasses and you feel like, I'm gonna have a little fun here. I'm gonna play with removing some of this. It's just lifting. I'm lifting it. I don't know. I'm gonna just have fun. Why is she lifting? What is she doing? I'm having fun, people. Now lifting this color up and seeing what happens when I do this, and just taking it and lifting it off the paper, going across the whole thing, creating another kind of cool texture along the way. And I'm loving what I see. Lifting this. I know, unexpected. has a really kind of mystical quality to it. And just a little bit more up here. And how beautiful is that? It's already looking so cool. You know what's really cool? It's like almost like, give it to the thing when you were a kid where you put an object and put some, like, I don't know, I think it was like the not carbon paper, but then you put the sun on it and it leaves like a imprint. That's what it reminds me of. Okay, this brush. I have to use a smaller brush. Just creating really cool texture is what I did. And I'm happy with it. It's a little different. I'm going back with that dark color and kind of just manipulating that a little bit. Okay. I don't want to fuss it too much because I want to wreck my paper. And I'm going to let this dry. And we're going to have fun. Okay, so now what I've done is drawn some birds on here with the branch. Now, Patreon members get this traceable for the birds. If you want to be a Patreon member, click the link in the description box. But I'm going to link below a few videos on my YouTube on how to draw birds. And I show you how to draw birds. And you can just look at some free photo images on the internet to get birds. Just give me an idea. So there's the branch, etc. and the birds. And I'm just going to make some simple birds. All right, I'll start off doing the branch just to get that going. Burnt Sienna, ultramarine blue deep. Get a nice little brown color here. And I'm just going to make a simple branch coming in here. A little bit more burnt sienna. And you can see the branch taking shape. And then I'm using a Princeton 12 aqua elite brush. And there's the wonderful little branch. So yes, you make this background that's really cool. And then you go on the front and kind of play with what you want to put out there. I might grab the smaller brush again to make little skinny branches off that. And while it's damp, I can go and add some ultramarine blue deep, get a bit of darker, play with this colorization of the branch itself. I don't want a one note kind of color, and I love using these two colors because they're granulating colors, and therefore they create a nice little texture itself. And I'll kind of put the darker tone kind of on the bottom of the branch, adding a little bit more blue. I might get this a little bit darker. There's the branch. And as far as the birds go, I'm going to make them simple. I can make them blue or yellow. I already have that green background. You can wake up whatever you want for your birds, right? I'm grabbing ultramarine blue deep, just watering it down. I'll add a little burnt sienna in there. And I'll start to play with putting the blue and the bluebird. Again, this is kind of like your own interpretation of the bird. Filling in the little head here. Going down. I'll add the wing. Just getting that first wash in. And I'm just painting them really kind of loose, not really serious because I don't want a serious looking bird. Again, get a little darker with those two colors. Gonna put some of that other deeper color on here, play with that a little bit. You can make both birds blue or not. Make blue or yellow. If I play with the yellow, I think because it's on green background, it's gonna turn like green bird, and that's not gonna look pretty. So let's make it blue. Because remember, we're glazing on top of this, right? So I'll do another little blue bird. Blue bird. Just fill blue in there. And get a little bit deeper with the color, one side. Those two colors again. I'm just going to tap that color in with my brush. I'm using the Princeton 8 long round velvet aqua elite series. I have a little wing here on the side. Grabbing a little bit deeper color. Kind of smoothing out this head of his little area here. Can make this like gray. I'm going to put the blue tail in here. Look how cute. Again, a little deeper with thicker color paint. You can choose to put whatever colors you want for your bird. Actually, I don't like this little separation. I think I'm gonna, you know, pretend that it's kind of connected. And I can even bring it down here a little bit more. And then for the belly, you know, maybe I'll make it more like brown tones. The burnt sienna. It's like a nice color. And then just kind of bleed into each other. It's kind of sweet. Like I said, if I put the yellow in there, it's going to turn green because we have that green color there. Just chopping a little bit more burnt sienna. I don't want it so dark, and I'll lift up the paint a little bit. Keep the outline kind of on the edge and lift up that middle. It was getting a little too dark. Isn't that cute? And the wing on the other side of this guy, I'll get a little bit deeper. And I'm painting them kind of rather fast, as you can see, because I really just want them loose. Get a little deeper with the blue here. Color underneath this tail feather. Again, bleeding in the color. Put a little deeper color here on the body. Adding in some shading around the head. It's kind of tilted a little bit. You can put some little lines for feathers. Get creative. If you want to put 2 cardinals, whatever, would be kind of pretty with this green. But, you know, again, it's all relative what you want to do. So I'm mixing those 2 colors again, or I can take Payne's gray and burnt umber. We need a deeper brown now. For some of the branches, I'm just going to go in here and add some thick and thin lines for some bark on the branches. And get a little darker here. Isn't that sweet? I love the background. I'm going to add a little feet. Get creative with your backgrounds. Adding a little bit more lines, get a little darker kind of here. You could add flowers. Again, get super creative. You can add more grasses too. I'm probably going to add some grasses. And then for the little legs, just keep it simple. Add a little bit more Payne's gray. Little feet. I wait for the blue to dry to put the beak and the eyes in because it would just bleed. Well, you know, it's waiting for that to dry. You can add more detail. Get a little bit darker here. Some of the wings, put some detail in. Some lines kind of coming out here. The tail. And out here. Again, little kind of dash lines. A little deeper for the blue on the bottom. Get this brown a little bit deeper, darker on this side. Taking my time, slowly adding the colors. They're very kind of muted, and I like it that way. Get a little bit deeper. This like rustic color. Sweet. Got a little bit of that rust color on my branch too. It looks a little dull. I gotta punch it up a little bit. And then, like I said, wait for those blues to dry. Now for the eye, I'm just gonna take Payne's gray. I normally don't use the black, but I kind of outline the circle and go in and leave a little white. Outline. Leave a little white, so they look like they're looking at each other. And then for the beak, just a little brown. So I use burnt sienna. Mix in. It can be a little bit yellow. Mix in there. Yellowish beak. Maybe more burnt sienna. Looks a little green. Yes, prettier. The beak color. Same thing with this guy. And I'll add a little bit deeper tones to it. Kind of on the bottom. Going in here a little bit. Again, it's not supposed to be super hyper realistic. It's just kind of a cute little interpretation of my bird. Aren't they cute? And then we'll just remove this stuff. Make some green tones, cadmium yellow deep, some Prussian blue. You can make them pretty light because they get this darker kind of color tone here. We start to play with putting in some grasses. I'm going to get them a little bit deeper. They have the background. And I'm taking the same brush, pushing down and kind of moving around the grasses. If you want it, like we did in the beginning, right? If you want to add some more deeper color. So the branch is coming out of the, you know, whatever, near the ground. Feel free to add some fleurs. Even little butterflies or whatever. It's up to you. Okay, just gonna go back in here and throw in some grasses, some wispy ones, and some deeper color tones. You don't want the soldier grass. You want to kind of push down a little bit, getting a darker tone down here, the ominous green. You can have a lot of fun with that. A couple of dark green ones over here, going up and over my branches, coming out. You can put some like wheatgrass. Aren't they cool? It looks a little bit ominous. Get some browns in there. Having fun doing something different this time. If I was going to put some little fleurs or colors, I'm going to grab some of my yellow. Let's see, let's have a little fun here. Let's see if we put some just little yellow ditsies. Just kind of tapping my brush. I kind of like it. I don't know. Put some light green kind of grasses way up here. They're hiding in the grass. Woohoo! Just having fun. Yeah, if I put that bright yellow kind of coming down in here, kind of brightens the mood a little bit, doesn't it? I think so. And you can have a few kind of like poking way back here. Just a little different than our last couple of like ones that are kind of similar with this, you know, caving in wherever they are, hiding the branches, right? And maybe put a little shadow color on the branch from them. So ultramarine blue deep and burnt sienna. A little shadow color from them on the twig. You don't really see much of that. I'm going to highlight some of these wonderful little wings. Little marks. Isn't that cute? What I think it needs is some white. I might splatter a little bit of white. What I want to do here on the right is just going to pull up and make like faux Queen Anne's lace. So it's just like a stem and then a bunch of little stems off that. And do like another one. I like to do in threes, or even kind of put one over here. You can see kind of that dark stem. And play around with taking in some white gouache, as opposed to, we could do white watercolor too, but I think white gouache works much better. It's a little more opaque. I'm loosening this up with my number 16 brush. And you're just gonna tap, tap and kind of connect then it's the Queen Anne's lace, like this. Right? Do 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 do. There's another one over here. Kind of pretty. If we can't really see the stems, you can play around with that. And if I wanted to splatter a little bit of white, I do want to do this thing where I'm spraying the paper. Spray, 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 get it all kind of wet. Covered that guy. Obviously, you can see me covering it. Now I'm going to grab my gouache and loosen that up. Splatter it. So it's not like everywhere, but it's there. Look how pretty that came out. Nope, I don't want it on my bird. That's why I covered them. Isn't that cool? And then they can do that dissipation thing. Don't want it on the branch. And you can kind of take some of them and go whoop up here. If you just spray a little bit up here and kind of tap it. Mine's turning a little bit blue if you missed the ones up in here. But I love this area. I lost my Queen Anne's lace guy down here and I just kind of tap back when it dries. Love the look. Isn't that pretty? It's like mystical. Mystical, magical. Add some gouache to your greens. You can go in the front. Really kind of cool. And that's how you can have fun, just playing with watercolor, doing simple birds. Like I said, I'll put the links below for the tutorials I show you how to draw the birds. But if you're a Patreon member, click the link in the description box below to get the trace for that. Have fun playing with this background. You could do so many variations. It can be more blues than it is greens, you know. You could add pinker flowers. Have fun with this. My gouache is kind of blended in here. It's kind of funny, and I went back and did another splatter and see what happens. Some people don't like the splatter. Put in real flowers. Type in, you know, paint in real like daisies and stuff. Have fun with it. All right, guys. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.